Nonetheless, I have great things to say about him, because if you know Michael, you know how nice he is. So I haven't been a long timer, but a fine short time. So, welcome to everyone. Just want to give a quick introduction for Michael's years of service. He started with LADOT, that's the Department of Transportation, for 24 years. Then he came here to DWP for another 16 years, which makes his total of 41 years. We need to give him a round of applause. Also, one note that we want to remind that there's a memory book on the, I think it's on the front table there near the door, and if you would like to make some personal memories or some comments to Michael, then please make a note in the book, because it should be on the table there. Michael wants to take time in his retirement and read all the wonderful comments. We have a conference room next door, 1110 and 1111. If we need additional space, if anybody needs more room, you can also spread into those rooms. I'll start with the first award, which certificate, Dennis? Oh, great. Right on, Alina's here. That's our first award. The Mayor's Award. We have our wonderful assistant, AD, Alina. She just wants to be Alina. And she's going to present the award tonight.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm really honored to be here. I'm sad to see Michael go, but I couldn't be happier for him. One of the kindest, smartest, most hardworking people I know, and it's just been an absolute honor working with you. And let's see what the mayor says. Certificate of recognition presented to Michael Chaney on retiring as System Programmer, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, in appreciation for his expertise in technology and data center administration that set high standards for excellence and quality service. As mayor of Los Angeles and on behalf of its residents, extends sincere gratitude for 41 years of serving Angelinos and for fostering a collaborative and productive environment as a team leader, and I offer congratulations on this well-deserved retirement. Congratulations!
Okay, one more.
Sure. There we go. All right, nice. Gotcha. All right, I got you.
Thank you. And on behalf of myself, thank you for the past 10 years that we've worked together. And never forget all the meetings and hard work and actually building a data center,
Or two.
pulling the racks and making sure everything is perfect, and really just taking care of our data center, which is the heart of our department, and Las Vegas data center, all the trips that you took, and really taking care of all the staff and making sure everyone's trained and really prepared to do their job. You've done an amazing job, so thank you. Thank you for being a great friend and being so kind. Always a great pleasure to have conversations with you and catch up with you, and I hope that won't stop. Come visit us. Don't forget about us.
Buy me a lunch.
And other people have said that. Anytime.
Buy me a lunch. I'm there.
And once again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Alina.
Now it's on Chaney, Tyner, not just Mike.
And in between the time, I have a fun fact. Michael says that he would like to learn to surf and kayak in retirement. So that's a fun fact for him. Anyway. We're ready for our Service Pin Award for the 40 years. This commemorative pin is given for the length of services with the city starting from 10 years and up to 50 years. For 25 years of service, there's one bead of 5 diamond set is embedded in the pin. Then diamonds will increase every 5 years of service. Michael has 4 diamond bead set. We don't know how many carats the diamonds are. Those are diamonds, yeah. But you can take it to the jewelry shop and get it appraised. They say. Joke. So, Dennis, can you? Oh, John has a pen? Okay, John.
Well, Michael, it's downsized a bit, from the initial. This thing packs a lot of punch, right? It has 4 diamonds. 41 years, 41 awesome years. Michael's been with us. Obviously, the first 25 was with DOT. Yep. And then the rest of the time, we got him all to ourselves. Congrats, Michael. And it was a pleasure working alongside you. And thank you for all your contribution. And here's your pin. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, John. Okay, we're now ready for the IBEW certificate. Is that person here? Not yet. We can go to the employee recognition speech by coworkers. We'll come back to the IBEW certificate. We have one more. Okay, and John will present that.
Back to work.
All right.
So, this is from the Los Angeles Water and Power Employee Association. Congratulations on your retirement, Michael Chaney. And it's signed by President, Board of Directors, Ashley. I can't read her last signature here. All right, Ashley. All right.
Still no IBEW? Okay, so we'll move right on to employee recognition speeches by coworkers. So if you have anyone, we can start lining up if people want to say certain things about Michael. If we can keep it to maybe a couple.
A lot of you know who I am, but for those who don't, my name's Jim Levesque, and I was manager and supervisor for various LADWP server infrastructure groups for about 30 years, and I'm the one you can blame for hiring Michael Chaney. When I was told a couple weeks ago that I was expected to speak today, my first thought was, whoa, what am I going to wear? Actually, it was my second thought. I'll get to my first thought later. And I started thinking about digging a suit out of the closet with a 5-year-old dry cleaning wrapper around it. Because every time I've been to one of these retirement things, some old guy gets up front, that'd be me today, and wearing a suit and tie and to regale the honored one. Then I thought, that's dumb. This is what retirement looks like. So we're in. You're You're all lucky I'm even wearing pants today. So that whole story was supposed to end with me telling Adrian to expect a wardrobe change and that there would be less ironing and or dry cleaning for the house to deal with. Because in my final years, Chaney looked like this every day at work.
Except the top.
But I've been told that since the pandemic, he's started already practicing retirement dress code, so. So anyway, in my mind's eye, I see him dressed well like this, because that's how he was the final few years that I was still working here. And it just, in my mind's eye, that strong presence. You really can't help but notice what a big but welcoming presence this man is. And for me, that presence always screamed professionalism. And I think we all agree that Michael Chaney has always been super professional. And so my first thoughts that day, a couple of weeks ago, was, oh crap, I have to speak in front of a bunch of people, tell you what a great guy Chaney is, Chaney is, and I have to make it interesting. I am generally uncomfortable speaking in front of a lot of people. And I know a lot of you are going, oh yeah, right? But this is way harder than telling somebody to assign in advance a C or Q. The easy part is telling you what a good guy and great employee Michael is. The part where I make it interesting, we'll see. So, I stole Michael from the Department of Transportation in 2008. I had an entry-level left SP1 position available in what was then the server and storage group. Michael was totally unknown to me, but he was the best candidate we interviewed. I'm pretty sure he was rather surprised when I called and offered him the position. Yeah? Good. And while he had some experience with a few servers at DOT, I recall he was initially a little overwhelmed with the extent of our server and storage infrastructure. However, he dove in immediately, owned whatever assignments I gave him, and I remember thinking, wow, he's going to be pretty good. So one of the first things I remember, or really sparks in my mind, was his almost instant connection and bond with Mike Tyner. This would be a good time to explain why I always call him Michael and not Mike. I already had a Mike, so he was and forever be Michael to me. I'm glad he was and was okay with that. Anyhow, he and Mike worked really well together and became really good friends with a shared interest in music, however questionable their choices in music are. They became such good friends that Tyner sold his house in Glendale just to move closer to Michael. Even though it definitely was good. Okay, that may not be why Mike moved, but it sounds like it's a good soundbite. One of the first projects I had the two of them work together on was racking and stacking new servers in the data center. Back in the day, really through my own neglect, the back of the server racks looked like a multicolored spaghetti factory exploded. We had cleaned most of that up by the time Michael got here, and I was pretty proud of our environment. However, with equal amounts of work ethic and OCD, they took installing new equipment to a whole new level. When they were done, the bays would look pristine, everything organized, super neat, everything labeled. They developed a term for this. They would say they mic'd it. And I still use that term today when I organize TV or stereo cables, although I'll never be able to do it quite as well as they did. Michael was always involved in our data center moves and builds, both here in LA and Las Vegas. And one of the main reasons our data centers continue to look as good as they do. I don't know if I've ever told Michael this story, but while showing a vendor our data center at Core Site, he asked which professional installation service we had used. He was shocked when I said we had done it internally. Another vendor told me he'd been in hundreds of data centers and had not ever been in one as nice as ours. I owe those compliments that I got in a huge part to Michael and the teams he worked with. That's very Mike. Now I'm going to talk about Michael generally as an employee. This part was the easiest to compose and maybe the hardest to make sure to get the essence across. I've already mentioned his presence and his professionalism, but as a supervisor and manager, he's a model employee. I never had to worry about what he would do or say. I never had to worry about the quality of his work. I never had to worry about him completing tasks. He's an Instapot of employees. Whatever I assigned him would get done. It would get done well, and it would get done quickly. I never had to deal with somebody complaining about him. I never had to de-escalate a situation or conflict with anyone. I'm not even sure conflict is in his nature. I've had excellent technicians, and I've had excellent people persons. I've had few that were excellent at both, and Michael was probably the best of that small group. He never bragged about his accomplishments or sought recognition, special recognition. But I hope I did so on your behalf or on his behalf. Like a fusion reaction, I always got more out of him than I put in. So to summarize, a supervisor and manager's ideal employee. If you could do fusion in an Instapot, that would be Michael Chaney. A quick aside, and I hope this works. Anytime I would give Michael a task or assignment, I would get back this simple response. And Michael, that was?
Piece of cake.
Got it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. The other one. Yeah. Got him, Chief. Both of them.
Okay.
Piece of cake.
And yeah, he always had it. Okay, good. Got through that. Okay, one final work story before I wrap up some odds and ends. I call this part Michael's legacy. The primary job description for his SP position was server patching. Back in the old Wild West days of IT, there were hundreds of servers that were generally managed by dozens of disparate teams that maintained their own servers. Some servers went years without being patched. Most were patched without notification or a documented process. There was no consistency for the level each server was patched to. I had tried to centralize and proceduralize server patching for years before he came and could never get any traction. I kept telling management I needed at least 3 FTEs to get this done. So that was Michael's primary assignment. Implement blade logic across the environment and do it by yourself. Of course, he tackled it without question or complaint, although there was plenty to complain about. There was always serious pushbacks from groups who didn't want someone else patching their servers, or balked at having an agent installed in their server, or giving us admin rights on their server. Just finding the owners of all the servers was an enormous effort. Michael worked in this for most of his career for me, and before I retired, he had done it. More than 2,000 servers were being patched on a quarterly or monthly schedule with documented processes and procedures in place. Michael's legacy is that our server infrastructure is more secure, consistent, and with far fewer incidents and outages because of his perseverance to this goal. I cannot emphasize enough what a huge accomplishment this is. Shifting to a more personal level, aside from a solid and dependable employee, Michael is, I'm also proud and honored to call him my friend, our friend. We have watched his boys grow up. We have attended several of his family functions, both memorial and celebratory, as he has ours. Michael and his family have been to our house many times for various celebrations, and just himself for the occasional random Friday afternoon guys happy hour. I hope you know you're always welcome. Just give me enough warning so I can make sure I have fresh orange juice. The final thing I want to say, and most dear to me, is Michael's loyalty to me and my team. Many years went by where I could not procure an SP2 position for which he definitely was deserving. Many SP2 opportunities came up in other areas, and Michael never jumped. He stuck with me through those times, and I don't know that I ever thanked him. So Michael, thank you for that, and thank you for everything else, and congratulations. You're one of the greats.
Oh,
And now we have a recognition from the IBEW representative, Virginia Cormier.
So I'm looking around the room and I'm trying to remember what everyone looked like 10 years ago. Okay, this is 11 years ago. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Virginia. I am Michael's rep. But beyond that, working for IBEW, I've also worked for IT. So a lot of the names, of course, are familiar. Some people look a little different. I do recognize, but they say the same thing about me, so that's nothing. It's not a dig at all. When you sit at home partially and all this other stuff, things change, right? But one of the things that people remember to do sometimes is to reach out to us and ask us to present a retirement gift. So for some of you, we didn't have the former EAA groups until 2003. So a lot of people have more years, of course, as city service than they do membership in IBEW. But one of the things that people talk about is when people are doing things right, you don't hear a lot about them. That's a bad thing and a good thing, right? If anyone read the admin manual 5004 for discipline, it talks about less than 5% of people ever have to use this section, right, for corrective behavior. But I like to do these types of things so we can acknowledge people who do things right quietly. And sometimes, always with a smile. I've always seen Michael in the hallway. I had his, I printed up the flyer and I put it in the copy room at the hall. And some people were like, I know that face. He still looks like that, right? Because I have been to retirement parties when I went to the wrong person because they didn't look like the picture in the flyer. So, thank you for keeping it easy for me. Because it's hard enough getting into this building. So I see all the cake. I like that everyone is lined up toward the evacuation route. It's a good reminder of where to go when you're done here. But I also wanted to make sure I invited you again in front of everybody because we do have our quarterly retirement meetings at the hall. So the next one is June 11th. So I already put your name down. So every quarter we have retirees come back to the hall. We have a speaker either from the retirement office or Social Security or the credit union, something informative to make sure everyone knows. We do, I do consider us, and we are a full service union. So we want to make sure that your retirement is there when you need it the most.
Thank you.
So I'm going to read this certificate here. So it's for 16 years of service and loyalty, which has contributed much to the growth and gains made by our union. Congratulations, Michael E. Chaney, on your retirement. And we have a letter here from our business manager, Gus Corona. As an expression of our appreciation for many years of loyal membership and service, Local 18 is pleased to present you with the enclosed certificate, a fountain pen, and because I was just giving little treats, because it's Michael. And it's IT, and you guys are used to waiting for me if you remember me. I was always just a little bit. Anyway, we have a lot of board packages, you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so this is a little pouch that we have. It's just, you can use it and not be ashamed of it. This is the pens that we're talking about. This is the keychain. I love these little silver keychains. And I have the pen here with our address and phone number in case you forget where to go on June 11th. But really, thank you. Thank you for your service to the department, to the city as a whole. I know we talk about city transfers and no one wants them right now, but as a previous city transfer, before we had reciprocity, it was always a good thing to have people come from other groups. So thank you. I'm glad you decided to end your journey here. So this is your little bag. Keep everything in. And congratulations. Step out.
Alrighty.
Jeez.
She's like, in or out?
Thank you, Virginia. Okay, and now now we are gonna open it up for the floor. We have a lovely lady is gonna start kick it off. And so please, if you can keep your comments to maybe a couple minutes, that would be awesome. I think Michael's gonna have a nice crowd. Thanks.
Okay, I'll be brief. Synthia Gordon, our DWP retiree, 4 years of retirement. Welcome, Michael.
Yeah.
I am Michael's sister from another mother. And your sister reminded me that forever, you were my first son. And now that you're a senior citizen, I gotta stop calling you. So, I've been with Mike 43 years. I married his best friend. So, while you talked about how good Mike is as an employee, that's the man that he is. That was the young man that he was from high school. Dedicated, did his work, but we could cut up too. He was the best man at our wedding 36 years ago and has been the best godfather to our 4 sons. And I'm honored to call him my son/brother. And I'm so proud of you and all that you do, because everywhere he goes, he's the same. And that's good to have a consistent person that's just good. A good man, a good brother, a good father, a good husband. I pray to Adrian, only Adrian can say that. But he has been a stand-up guy in every role that he holds. So congratulations and welcome to the club, bro.
So while with the next group, we can come on up. But we want to acknowledge Michael's family. Anyone that just wants to stand, and so we can just acknowledge everybody's here. His wife Adrian, and I don't know everybody. Let's give him a hand. His mom, his mother. That's right. Mama's in the green. Right on. Stepmom, looking beautiful, lovely. And who else, Michael? Sister.
No, she's not here. The one's not here.
Okay.
On the right is brother-in-law Michael. To his whatever side that is our bonus mom, Mrs. Chaney, and there's Michael's wife in the red, Mrs. Chaney. There's Miles, Xander, Michael's youngest son. Mrs. Chaney in the light green, our mom, Monica, with the golden locks, and myself, Carolyn. I am the oldest of the tribe. He followed in my footsteps working in the data center, but mine was Pacific Bell or Pacific Telephone. Anyway, my goodness, I wasn't prepared to say anything, but we are very proud of this young man, and glad that he's joining us on the retirement side now. We're gonna be traveling, we're gonna be partying, and we're gonna be kicking the kids out the house. What did we just say? We were gonna jump out of an airplane? Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Jumping out of the airplane.
Okay, yeah, and we're very, very proud of this milestone. We talked about him starting at DOT. I remember him working all the holidays, and the drunks were knocking down the signals and the street lights. He was putting them back up. Thank you for this ceremony and honoring our brother, our son, husband, father, and congratulations.
Hello, everybody. I wasn't prepared to say anything either, but I have to about this gentleman to my left here. I've known Michael since our McDonald days. I think that was back in 83, 82, didn't I? Upon meeting him, I knew, I said, oh, this is a good brother. He likes weird music like me. But I lost a little bit track of them when I left and went to Universal, and then I started the City of Los Angeles and DOT back in '88. I happened to be directing traffic, and I look up and I said, I know this brother. And he comes, right, I said, oh, Mike, cool. So then we reconnected since then. So his family is like my family. I go to all of their functions and all that good stuff. But the thing that I'm about to say, I know all of you already know about him. He has always been a gentleman. He has always been somebody that I can rely on, because I've had to rely on him for weird things in my lifetime, including picking up my children when I couldn't, because of course being with DOT, they hold us over. But then when I became a sergeant over there, he was still with DOT, and I thought I had all the best connections in the world because all of my IT issues were always taken care of. But then again, DWP stole him from us, and I had to go make new friends. But again, Mr. Michael Chaney, seeing that I'm a new retiree, and I can tell you right now, the water's warm. We've been waiting on you too, because I really wanted to retire with him, so this is excellent timing. So, just like the sister said, hey, it's time to party. It is time to travel together. I can't wait, Adrian. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Enjoy, my brother.
All right, so as part number 2 of Team Mike, I probably have to say a couple things. As, I mean, Jim covered a lot of it. Like, literally, I was working for Jim when Mike started. Michael. He was always going to be Mike to me, because, you know. Because we're, I know, right? Because we're Team Mike. So, when you establish Team Mike, there's going to be 2 Mikes. And so, that's where we're at. But yeah, Mike was started working for Jim same time, more or less the same time I started working for Jim, and like you said, we had an instant connection. We hit it off. We were doing a lot of good work, and you know, we had an absolute blast. Like, we probably had so much fun, especially on some of those overnighters, like the Reg 4 testing. We were popping windows out of the data center JFB to try to vent some hot air out of there and things like that. But it was like the 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and people were starting to get punchy, and we just started cracking jokes, and we just had an absolute blast working. And then, you know, like Jim was talking about, the trips out to the DR site, you know, we would listen to our exquisite taste in music and drive Jim absolutely crazy. He wouldn't understand, and that's okay because, you know, but it's all right. We had so much fun. And I just want to say I'm going to miss seeing Mike around the office because, like everyone has already said, he is the guy that you see in the office, at home, on the sidewalk, wherever you're at. It's always going to be the same Mike. He's always smiling, he's always happy, and he's always there to help out. And, you know, like even when I moved up to being a neighbor with Mike, not because, you know, I don't know, that's weird, but like there, whatever. But, you know, Mike even came to help me move. And so anyone that's going to come out and like on their day off and help you actually move all the furniture out of one house and put it into another house, that says something about someone. And that's exactly who Mike is. And so we're going to miss you, but I'm going to see you on the slopes and sign me up for that skydiving trip. I'm down with that. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. And you know, and thank you, Mike, for, you know, years of friendship and continued friendship because we're neighbors.
So I have had the privilege of working with about the last 12 years or something like that. I was also hired on by Jim, and when I started on the team, this guy taught me everything I needed to know about racking and stacking servers and cabling them properly. So I am an honorary member of Team Mike. Primarily doing and it's already been said over and over again. I mean, Mike has the best work ethic of anyone that I've ever worked with. I don't know how many times we've been up all night long working on an issue, and he's always there jumping in ready to help out. Just devotes so much time and effort into ensuring that things run properly here at DWP. Speaking of work ethic, a good story about building out the data center. So most of you know we have our newer data center at Foresight. And we're building it out, and we had ordered about 30 racks that had to be delivered, right? Oh, Jim will love this one, right? So these racks, if you've never been to our data center, they're massive. They're non-standard. They're, I don't know, how tall are they? 8 feet tall, they're wide, they're deep, and they're heavy, right? So we're at core site, and we see this big rig, a full semi backs into the loading dock, and they open up the back, and it's full of racks. And it's me, Mike, and one guy from core site, and Arfield was there, right? And we're standing around, and the truck driver gets out, and we're all looking at the back of the truck. Who's gonna pull all these things out? The truck driver's like, I'm not doing it. You guys can pay for white glove service. Thank you, Jim. And Coresite says, this is not our job, it's your data center. So Mike and I were like, okay, I guess it's on us. So we took out all of these racks out of the truck and put them on the loading dock. We're like, okay, how are we gonna get these in? We put it on a pallet jack, we try and bring it in. It won't get through the doorway. We're like, oh, we didn't even measure any of this. So I'm like, all right, I'll run to Home Depot, we'll grab a couple of furniture dollies, and one by one, we lay down each rack, strapped it to the furniture dollies, put it into the elevator, brought it up, lifted them back up, and proceeded to do that over and over again for, I think it's
38.
38.
38.
But we got it done, and you know, that's just, and he didn't complain, nobody complained. We all knew what it takes to get the job done, and that's, you know, that's how we operate. That's how Mike's always operated. So, always willing to do what it takes to get the job done. Countless hours spent driving out to the data center, working at DR, going out to Bishop. You know, those are probably some of the best memories I have working here. So, like everyone else, I appreciate working with you. I appreciate your friendship. And, oh, and another thing, ever since he was eligible to retire, I kept telling him that he's not, I won't let him retire. He said, don't piss me off and I won't retire. So apparently I have sufficiently angered him to the point where he's, I apologize. Congratulations. I'll teach you how to surf. No worries. And congratulations, and we'll miss you around there. But super happy.
All right, I am Michael's other sister, his favorite sister.
Here we go. Here we go.
Not like Cynthia. He used to be my younger brother, but now that he's a senior citizen, well,
He chose me.
I have to tell you, DWP is a legacy. Well, the city is a legacy, but DWP is a legacy in this family. My dad retired from DWP after 30 years.
Wow.
And he didn't like retiring much, so after like maybe 9 months, he went actually back to the city for about 20, 30 years. I worked for DWP in IT. Jim Levesque doesn't remember, but I interviewed with him once too. To work with the servers. He didn't hire me. Never quite forgot that one. I worked in IT security, so sometimes I was able to hold back on some of those permissions they were asking. It all balanced out. So I left DWP to get a promotion, which took me closer to home. It was Ontario Airport. And as soon as I left, look who's sneaking in the back door. My brother calling, guess where I'm gonna be working? Guess where my next job is? I had to admit I was jealous. I love working at the airport, but man, I had to be there. DWP, especially in customer service division, where we spend a lot of time. The best parties, the best retirements.
Customer service, right.
So even though they pay you to be there, it's like a party all the time. So we started the same year with the city. We both started with other departments, and then came to water and power. I retired a long time ago. But he must still like working, because even now, he kept putting off and putting off and putting off the date. But I think he's going this time. So really say goodbye. I have to tell y'all, he's a wonderful person. He's a wonderful brother. Everything you said about him, that usually the sisters are calling names and you did it, and not with Michael. From day one, he's been perfect. And my mothers will tell you. So now we have to hand over the baton. Miles, Xander? It's up to you. You gotta keep that legacy going. Thank you everyone for loving my brother the way that we do.
Thank you.
Go, Harry.
All right.
Harry.
Sorry, I'll try to keep this short and sweet. As I was saying, I'm incredibly lucky to have had Michael as my supervisor. When I first started under him, I was incredibly nervous. I am right now, too. Thinking, how can I do server patching, maintenance, data center racking and stacking cabling, server templates, and much more. I thought it would be overwhelming, but it wasn't. Michael has a calm, cool, and collected way of teaching things. It was like mentally learning how to ride a bike. First with the training wheels, and then the real thing, including a lot of falling on my part. But I did get there, and I couldn't have gotten there without Michael's incredible leadership and tutelage. Enjoy your retirement, Mike. Make every day your best day. And thank you to the greatest mentor I've ever had.
Hello, my name is Harry Scott, and I work for the Department of Transportation with Mike Chaney.
Yeah.
And
That's
a
it
lot
for
of
you.
things you don't know quite a bit about Mike. Some of you maybe do. But let me tell you about Mike. He's an outstanding, you already said it, a lot of people, he's an outstanding. Well, we had a band called LADOTs. And Mike is one great bass player. We had a lot of fun playing together. We played for Mary Reardon at the Getty House. Rockadale Dio, played for him a couple of times. And Mike is a guy who gets along so smoothly with everybody. He's got that certain finesse. And you know, we used to talk about different notes that we were playing, and Mike would say, well, no, I think it would be like this, Harry. Yeah, you're right. So we worked together. And Mike is such a great, you have such a great personality. And everybody, if you just walk in a place and just smile, that's it. And also, the other guitar player, we had John Morales is here. Was it the man? John Morales with the LADOTs. But I just want to say to you and to your family, Adrian and your sons, I know you're going to treat him right, and you be sure he treats you right. And I know he will. So, Michael, I just want to say, I really appreciate you over the years and being your friend. And thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dorothy Tate, and I'm from the Department of Transportation. So we had it first. So I met Michael. He mentioned Michael playing in a band. So I went to some kind of luncheon or something over at Piper Tech on the 3rd floor. It was a big lunchroom or something. And that's what I met Michael playing that bass. Yeah, that's what he's known for. But then we worked together at Caltrans building, First and Main. Michael was the IT one-man band.
Yes.
Everybody went to Michael. He could walk down the hall and he couldn't make it from one end to the other. Michael, I need to do all that. But you know how they say location, location, location? I said right here, he had to come out his cubicle and he could not, I would have to see him and I'd get him first. And Michael has always been so pleasant, just friendly, easy going, even though people were pulling on Michael from all which ways, but he managed to do it. And I enjoyed working with you, Mike. Over the years, we had discussions, little laughs and stuff, and come to find out, I went to elementary school, junior high, and high school with his cousin Susan, and no other people outside of the job. And I wish you so much best wishes on your journey. Enjoy retirement. Do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. Wake up late, throw all the clocks out the window, all that. And there's a couple of things over the years that me and Mike said, and he knows what it is, so I'm going to say it, and he'll know what I mean. The first one is, ya-da-da-da, and the other one is that Miles? Miles, who's born? Xander. His son's birthday is 10-4. And when Michael told me the day he was born, I said 10-4 over and out. So we have those two connect, and he's just such a joy to work with. Thank you for being my friend. I love you. I wish you the very best. Okay, take care of yourself.
Anyone else? I think we've said as many things good things as we can say about Michael. He's a wonderful gentleman. Wish him all the best in jumping off that building. Enjoy yourself around. Talk to Michael and enjoy the reception. And thank you so much for coming to celebrate Michael.
Are you supposed to say something?
Yeah, Mike. Am I supposed to? Michael. Well, yeah. Come on, brother. The wonderful Michael Chaney.
Wow. So I'm so overwhelmed right now, and I just don't know what to say. But I have to start off by thanking my two fathers. My heavenly Father who makes all things possible, and then my earthly Father for giving me the application and saying, you guys are going to take this test. When we were kids, we would see my dad and his buddies having study sessions, and we thought, they're grown-ups, why are they doing homework? But they were collectively studying to work their way up the ranks through water and power. And they were among the first class of black linemen and all these other positions in the department because they all studied together and worked their way up through the ranks. They RV'd together and they partied together and they retired together, and I'm kind of trying to follow that footsteps. And then my two mothers that gave birth to me and my stepmother, my bonus mom, the man you see here and you've heard so much about is a reflection of those four. My two fathers and my two mothers. So I thank them for everything. I would not be the man that I am today without those. So I just want to say to everyone, I appreciate all the warm words you've had over the last few weeks, the Thankful Thursdays, which, like, wow, the support that I've gotten from, my Jim from hiring me into the department and supporting me and teaching me, and Justin that came in behind him, and only because I didn't want the job at the time. Like everybody knows, I avoided supervision like the plague. And I said, only if it's the right position and I'm close enough to retirement. Because for me, yes, I come to work for the money. I've always said I love my job, but let the department run out of money, see if I show up. I would only take a supervisory spot if it was the right position and I was close enough to retirement. So when Justin promoted to ISM, that was 2021, that put me 4 years out from my scheduled retirement days. It's like, yeah, I'll take it. And like he said, It took me 2 years to not hate the job. Another 2 years to get used to being in charge, just in time to turn it over to Mitch. The very capable hands of Mitchell Schmidt. So you guys, you keep saying you'll miss me. You won't miss me. A couple weeks, you'll forget why you're here. Because you got Mitch to lean on and go to, so, you know. But like I said, I've had so much support over the years. Alina, thank you for your support. Mona, I don't know if she's here, but, you know, she always gave me, you know, encouragement. You know, Dennis, John, thank you all so much. You know, everybody that, you know, again, I just don't know what to say, just too much, but thank you all. I've enjoyed working with you all, and invite me to lunch.
So that is the actual cue. So now enjoy, Michael, have your side chats, and enjoy the rest of the food. Thank you so much for coming.
Mike, did you validate parking?